One of the weaknesses of agile project management is that it can mask that a project is doomed, but the team and the project manager doesn't know it yet. All projects make progress and solve problems right up until the time they are canceled. Decisions to cancel projects are often taken in a crisis environment, and often the decisions are less than optimal. How can you tell if a project will never converge on a worthwhile completion? In software development, this is fairly easy to do by overlaying a decision tree analysis on what is usually just a handful of major milestones between where a project is and its desired completion state. This is a technique inspired by real options analysis, or ROA, which is used in high-stakes, multi-stage projects like pharmaceutical development. These techniques are more sophisticated than doing a snapshot return on investment estimate and deciding whether or not to keep funding a project. Some projects, even troubled ones, are worth adjusting their budgets higher because of the rewards of successful completion are especially large, but only when obtainable within a relevant time frame or with more investment. The reason these sophisticated project evaluation techniques deliver better results is that they take into account the path to completion. At each node in the path, a range of outcomes and probabilities at different funding levels can be assigned. These are just estimates, but they're more granular estimates than an aggregate guess at total costs and the return on investment. One of the reasons I cover a lot about Starship is that the Starship project seems to try to emulate agile project management, and that can be ill-advised for a project as complex as the largest rocket ever. In particular, agile project management, unless augmented with the kind of techniques I've described here, doesn't deal very well with long, complex chains of dependencies. Let's look at one example in the Starship project. A notable problem in Starship is a shortfall on payload. Elon Musk has been quoted as saying the payload is roughly 50% of what was expected. What hasn't been reported is what he's expected, so it could be the very optimistic 150 tons or the more commonly quoted 100 tons of payload. But this is where a technique like a decision tree or a real options analysis comes in handy. You can estimate time, costs, and outcomes, and assign probabilities to those outcomes. And you can chain these analyses so that your outcomes on payload inform the costs and the likelihood of success for in-orbit refueling. This is the kind of analysis that can tell you what the odds are for Starship actually working.